Good morning. Another day in paradise here in Green Bay, Wisconsin, the voted best place to live in the United States of America in 2023. Truly, you just gotta love it. Every day I wake up, look in the sun, the dawn, the new day, and I'm just like, I can't wait for another day in paradise. To truly flourish, truly thrive in God's greener. Just kidding, I fucking hate this place. Let it go. Stay so free. Said Robert, I'm so sorry. Your house ain't haunted, you're just not used to being alone. The creaks and cracks and the signs miss that you are alone. Just not used to being alone. Best to be up front and said, Robert, I'm so sorry, I said, honey. Just not used to being alone. Do, 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 do. Hell yeah. Looking up. Not sure if there's the Twitch bot or if someone is watching, but if it's someone watching, hi, welcome to the club. We're just big vibing. It's morning in Wisconsin, Green Bay, Wisconsin, the best place on earth. Not really. There's countries that are better than the United States, but the United States is claiming to be the best country in the world. So I'm going to claim that we're the best country in the world because I'm American. I have to do it. It's part of my bloodline to claim that I'm better than you all. I'm better than you all. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But when it comes down to it, America has a lot of freedom and bullshit. And yeah, apparently Green Bay, Wisconsin's been voted the best place to live inside the United States. So I live in apparently the best place in the land of freedom, and I hate it. So what does this mean? Means you're taking a fucking hell of a gamble. Because if I don't like it here, I mean, there's a chance that your kid won't like it here. And I'm living in the best place on earth, basically. And if I don't like it here, where the fuck am I gonna like it? Nowhere. Nowhere. And it's just not gonna work out. Life's just not gonna work out. I'm just not gonna jive with it. And so there's a chance that your kid might just not jive with life. You might just be tossing it into a little hellhole. A little slice of hell. Just to nearly die and become corpse and decay, and it's Adam's go to spread out and do it all over again for someone else. It's your fault. So, not like really your fault, because like free will is just an illusion, everything's determined. But your fault in the sense that your atoms caused it. Your atoms were the catalyst for bringing about that birth and that chain of events. So, don't make it so your atoms don't fuck and bring about more pain and suffering. Use condoms. Use birth control. Get your hormones checked. Get a vasectomy or hysterectomy. Whatever. Talk to your doctor. See your doctor. Bippity boopy. Anything. Just try. Moral story is just another day in paradise. Doing my duty. Trying to prevent suffering. Marco. Hunting something. There was a chipmunk. My cat was hunting it, but the chipmunk noticed him. The chipmunk made a little squeaky noise. It was kind of cute, and then ran up on top of the fence. My cat was just like, "God damn it!" Looked at me like, "Bro, look at that! Look at that! Just climbed up there. What am I gonna do?" I'm like, "You missed out. You missed out, bro." But it's just how it be. A little F-list cat missed on his opportunity. Does that again, we'll have to put him down, and I'm just joking. I'm just joking, guys. I'm just joking. We love Marco. How y'all doing this morning, or afternoon, or evening? I don't know your time zone. How you doing? It's 7:13 a.m. here in paradise. Best place on earth, Green Bay, Wisconsin. To be specific, Ashwaubenon, even better part. Better than Green Bay by far. It's paradise. E. Oh, look at you, big boy. Looking in the tree? Okay, fine, I'll pay attention to you. Hi. Meow. Look at this dude. Marco. He's like a little child, just trying to test his balance for the fun of it. Game theory, just turn life into a game. Hey, what's in the tube? Chases after me and jumps on my leg. So you get parasites, bro. Marco. Hey. Okay, fine. He's like, I want to play in the garage. Look at him. He's inside the boat. Yeah? Such a playful mood right now. Phone's at 2% power though, so it's gonna die when it does. I'm gonna go downstairs, Marco. Yes, I am. Hey, don't tear up his bow, you asshole. Robert, I'm so sorry your house. Oh no. Squirrely DeMarco. Sir Robert.
Find your way back home. Do, do, do. Marco, what are you doing over there? You harassing a bug? Leave the insects alone. They didn't do anything to you. Good morning. Oh, I wasn't talking to you guys on mic. Fuck you. Just kidding. To people on mic, I meant like the people on here, not like you guys. Fuck you, because like you guys are great. These guys, it's just a bunch of they suck. I'm probably the best person on the team, and I'm shit. What you doing? My cat is playing with one of the chords, I think. Someone's watching. How did you playing Apex Legends right now? There's a team on us, so we a bit distracted. How you doing? Not that I expect anything good, because I mean it's another day in hell, but it is what it is. Marco, why are you so adorable? When you have it in your face, bro. Wah. Wish this mic wouldn't turn off at random points. Yeah, just big vibing this morning. Just died in Apex Legends. Didn't survive very long, ripperoni. But now we're gonna go and move this over here until someone starts talking. You guys get the cat cam. The cat cam. Gonna watch Marco lay here. He'll do nothing. Let's see. I'm not even sure if my mic's working. Testing 1, 2. Yeah, it's working. There we go. The cat cam. Oh, there we go. Now we got a comment. Yo, how's it going, y'all? Good morning. Yeah, it's just another day in paradise. Basically, just took a little nap on the ground here for like a couple hours, and now I'm awake, and I'm just like, I'm not that tired. I'm gonna stay awake for a few hours. I don't know where the quote's from, but it's it seems like a quote, you know. Another day in paradise. You know. It seems like some like dude with a Brooklyn accent would be like saying it, you know. Like if I was a Brooklyn dude, I'd be like another day in paradise. Every day I woke up. So it seems like it has to be a thing. There's a song like that, yeah. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. That song. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky. I like do the trees do. I see friends shaking hands, singing, how do you do? They really sing, I love you. That's a good song. It's my playlist. I don't like that it's so positive, but it sounds boppy, and that's all that matters. That gives big vibe energy. Big vibe. Oh, the song is actually called Another Day in Paradise? Oh shit, no, I have no clue what the song is. It sounds like it would be like the genre known as rap though, if I'm correct. And that's kind of impressive. But if it's ironic and it's called that, I'm guessing it's a rap song because I've never heard of it. So It's not rap. Nah, goddamn it, I had to predict it. Now life is meaningless. No, I'm just joking. Let's see. Oh, there's no perks in the replicator. Bruh, that's dumb. That's okay though. We didn't need any perks in the replicator. Who wanted those anyway? Not me. Let's see. Yeah, I should probably Uber later today a little bit because it's the game day. So get money, get the grind going. Other than that, I don't really have much plans for today. Like, I'm just kind of chill, watch videos, and play some video games. Basically, just same shit, different day. But some like good shit. 'Cause video games are fun. Ever tried Dark Souls? You bought it? Oh yeah, well, I've tried Dark Souls, not specifically Bloodborne, and I am absolute dog shit. I'm horrible. So I've tried. Yes, am I even slightly okay at the game? No, not even remotely. So I'm really bad, like really bad. Games like Ghost of Tsushima, I'm okay at Ghost of Tsushima, but Ghost of Tsushima has pretty normal, predictable patterns of attack from the enemy, so I can go about that pretty easy. Dark Souls, though, that's just too wacky, man. I can't handle that. I'm too ADHD and I'm just brains fried. I guess God of War is kind of Dark Soulsy. I'm pretty shit at God of War, to be honest. So yeah, that's another thing that I'm bad at. This is a great deal. You bought it? Fuck yeah. Delios are what we like. Big Daddy Delio. See those dollar dollar bills, yo. We got. I guess I can take that. Play God of War? Because if you haven't played God of War, you gotta play God of War. Though, I'm guessing you have, so I'm just making conversation. But God of War, the newest one, is fucking awesome. Ragnarok is bomb. And I could actually beat some of those enemies, the big guys that they made, like those. I only beat one, but I actually beat one. Oh shit, that's fair. Give me God of War is crazy, so like I can't do that. The Valkyries are fucking testing 1 2. Okay, my mic turned off again for a moment. Yeah, the Valkyries though they're fucking impossible. I've tried, I just can't. the I got Ascensions in here. Like you gotta get it already. Ah, okay. Ascension. Trying to think of what that is. Ascension. It's not like Call of Duty, is it? No. Gao Ascension, God of War. Oh, God of War Ascension. Okay. Oh, God of War. I don't know which one that is. Is that the second one? It must be. Valhalla, and there's Ragnarok. Hmm. I'm watching like I kind of just want to leave the game. But what if my teammate pops off and does some sicko mode shit? You never know. He won't, but one after third. The one after third. It's, okay. I've only played God of War, really, I think, and the newest one. Play God of War 3 a little bit, but I kind of suck at it. Probably just the older graphics, but it's been a while since I played it, so. Yeah, the Valkyries in the new God of War. I am really bad. I cannot beat a Valkyrie to save my life. Like, so I could sit in a room with a PlayStation and a remote for like 1,000 years trying to beat the Valkyries, and I'd still fucking be dead. Yeah, so how glitchy newest one is in terms of you hit them sometimes nothing still, or they hit you when you are out of their aim. I can't remember when it started. Oh yeah, I mean I've heard the new God of Wars are kind of really difficult, so I don't really know how difficult they are in comparison to the third. I haven't played the third in a while, but I wouldn't be surprised when the new on the hardest difficulties it's crazy. So just multiplayer in Ascension, shit. I didn't know that. I didn't think they would have multiplayer in God of War. Ah, okay. Serendipitous. In the end, there's a statue. If you hit it 10 minutes straight, it will break. Oh, wow. Nice. Just need to do God's work and it'll work for you. Said Robert, I'm so sorry. Your house ain't haunted. You're just not used to being alone. What the hell is this news video? Suicide church training? What? What are you talking about, my dude? Sounds interesting, but you gotta lay the sauce. Oh. What game you playing? I'm playing Apex Legends. Comes up when you search antinatalism. Oh, okay. Let me look it up. Is it like on YouTube or what? Okay, 1 second here. Maybe I'm blind. Antinatalism filters this week. Just get rid of the dash. I don't fucking see anything. 1 second. My team's dying. I'm gonna go. Oh, they actually figured themselves out. Cool. Wow, I'm on fire. Filter it for today. Okay, I will do that. I really hate my mic. My mic is fucking dog shit. I imagine it stopped working. Testing 1, 2. No, it's still working good. Opinion on that vegan teacher if you have one. I don't know who that vegan teacher is. Oh, is that woman? That really bitchy woman that thought I was a troll? I don't really know. Do you think the ancient Greeks had epholist views? Maybe some, but not a lot of them. I don't think so. Filter for today. What's the video called? Suicide church training. Antinatalism. It's filtered for today. It's filter last hour. There we go.
All right, let's pray, and then we'll get started. Father, thanks so much for this opportunity to gather to talk about this dreaded topic, but very important topic. And so may this be a time of equipping, of growing in awareness, and in confidence and competence.
It's because it's the end of September, and
in our
September is like
lives, in the
suicide
lives of
month.
those we work with, or those in our families, our loved ones. So that may we gain your perspective in this time today. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. So, continuing our topic or our Sunday nights on tough topics. Today's on suicide,
Very tough.
and this is not. It's not one of my favorite topics. So, um, when I first became a therapist, probably my greatest fear was having a client kill themselves. And that I've gotten a lot more at peace with the possibility of that happening. But that is one of the things where I was just terrified of coming into a counseling setting and having to fix that issue. It's something we can't avoid, though. So as you see on the slides,
So you should not
suicide.
have
It's the
kids.
second leading cause of death for people ages 10 to 34. 10th leading cause of death in general in the US. And since 1999, and I think this stat was in 2020 that I first looked this up. So since 1999, the overall rate of suicide has increased 35%. The vast majority of people who complete suicide are men. 78% who die by suicide are male. Why that is, they're more likely to use actually lethal means, like a gun or hanging themselves. Women will tend to use pills and maybe cutting, but it'll be oftentimes the wrong type of cut. But usually it'll be pills for women, and it's usually not the effective means. Men will use more violent means. So, in the saddest way possible, no one is looking for equity in that regard. Also, LGBT youth, lesbian, gay, bisexual identified youth are 4 times more likely to attempt suicide. Transgender people, whether youth or adult, are 12 times more likely to attempt suicide. Now, the narrative is that it's all because of stigma in society, but that does not bear
I
out
don't
with the actual
really
data.
know if
Countries where it's
the
way more acceptable, the stats don't change, it doesn't go down. And
okay, I can do that, I suppose. Antinatalism per se is just as it sounds anti-atalism, anti-procreation. So simply put, it is being against the bringing in of sentient beings into existence, whether that's AI or say, animals, whatever, pets, whatever it is, shrimp. If you're a shrimp farmer, fuck you. Basically, antinatalism is just anti-bringing things into existence. Ephilism, very similar, but it's more consequentialist rather than deontological per se. Like, it's not necessarily that all antinatalists are deontological. You could be a consequentialist antinatalist, but more often than not, you're a rights-based person if you are antinatalist. You have issues of imposition, you have issues of consent violations, stuff of that nature. While ethilists, on the other hand, have issues with the nature of suffering. They think everything leads and breaks down to suffering for the most part. Um, we have a large focus on evolution. Basically, we can show you how everything you desire, everything you value, all things that make you happy and you care about are basically just means to propagate your genes, and can demonstrate that, yeah, essentially everything you value is just a means to the end of evolution, and it's just a death battle, basically. So, I mean, it's not really anything moral it's saying per se, but it's basically just saying that like all these things people like value are basically just, oh shit, we're being fucked up. Uh, Playing a video game, my bad. But yeah, basically it's just saying the things you value are basically evolutionarily bullshit. Man, yeah, I just got fucked up. And when it comes down to it, I just got my train of thought fucked because I got fucked in Apex. Yeah, I got most damage on the team though. That's good. Sad racks for me being better than everybody else while I'm multitasking. Um, let's see. Similarities and differences. Okay, I'm just gonna start over real quickly. Similarities and differences. Let's just do similarities. Do I have a pencil around here at all? I do. Cool. Got paper. Got A, N. We got Ephilism. So, gonna make a circle plot thing. It's just like back in high school and middle school, guys. I'm getting so much nostalgia. Oh my lord. Look at this. We got the circles. So on the left, we have antinatalism, and on the right, we have ephilism in the middle where they intersect. So let's see what we got. So similarities is in the middle, obviously, and the differences are just not going to be like in each side. So people should not have kids. Well, kids, eh, eh, goes in the middle because both antinatalists and ephilists are like having kids, like no. But one's a hard no. Antinatalism is a hard no, and ephilism is a soft no. So hard no, soft no. You maybe be like, wait, I thought ephilism's more intense than antinatalism. So what are you saying? Why is it a soft no in ephilism, but hard no in antinatalism? Because, as I said, it's usually more deontological in antinatalism and consequentialist on ephilism. See, in ephilism, if someone could show to you, guarantee that there's a formula on how to raise a child to make it so that they will be vegan, have a desire to end suffering and prevent suffering, want to be a biologist and to go about extincting animal life, if you could go about explaining and showing all these things, then I'd say not a, it's actually probably likely that it's a good thing to bring that person into existence, even if it's even if it's a harm to that person, because you're going to be preventing a larger amount of suffering out of that whole. So I'd say there are circumstances where it could be a good thing to actually bring about people into existence, because I'm a consequentialist. So, and I'd say most ethilists are consequentialists, if not like all of them practically. So, hence why it's a soft no, and everything basically besides unnecessary suffering is a soft no in ethilism. Soft no, kids. Another difference, another similarity. Vegan. Both sides are typically vegan. If you're antinatalist, you or should be vegan like 100% of the time. If you're against bringing things into existence, consequentially through supply and demand, you are going to be bringing things into existence if you aren't vegan. So you should be vegan. If you're an ethicist, you want to prevent unnecessary suffering and also prevent things from unnecessarily coming into existence to suffer. So hence you should be vegan. So that's a similarity, as both of them are vegan or similar enough, or I should say plant-based. I should say plant-based. Plant-based in the middle. AN should be vegan. Ethicist should be scrapitarian, which is basically just freegan plus hunting. It's a term I made up, I guess. So it's just saying that like you're plant-based, but you also hunt and fish. So, similarities that are also different. Religion. Ethilism is anti-religion. So anti-theist, religion neutral. Antinatalism is religion neutral. Ethilism is generally anti-theistic. Both are generally suffering focused, though ethilism takes a hard stance on suffering. Ethilism generally believes in objective ethics for the most part, I'd say. Antinatalism is a lens neutral position, meaning you could believe in objective ethics and be antinatalist, or you could be a subjectivist and be antinatalist. I don't know why the fuck you would be, but you can be a wishy-washy motherfucker and be an antinatalist. There's nothing stopping you. No one else in the community is going to be like, excuse me, but that's inconsistent for the most part. So, I guess the similarity is they're both taking a moral position. / ethical position or whatever. Similar differences. Pro right to die. Pro right to die in the middle, because they both agree with pro right to die. But ethilism is generally pro mortalistic from a ego-centric view. And antinatalism is just open to suicide acceptance, but it's not necessarily primordialistic. It doesn't necessarily think that we ought to commit suicide or that it's in your favor to commit suicide, but or that even that people should have the right to commit suicide 100% of the time. But it is open to the idea that suicide should be more accepted. So but they both are similar, that they both converge on generally having a pro right to die attitude in life. So what else? Climate concerns. See, they both care about the climate concerns. It's just that like antinatalists care about the climate, and ethalists are like, this shit's all distraction from the real fucking cause of our pain and suffering. We do focus on the fact that the climates are being drastically changed, which is a source of suffering because it disrupts homeostasis. But it's not like a huge focus of ethalism. It's just like a little bit of a side tangent that, like, you know, as our environments change, which we've been adapted to for billions of years of evolution, you know, our homeostasis will be disrupted. So therefore, pain, suffering, all that jazz. Oh, we got a pretty good list going so far. Let's see. So we got things for antinatalism that are unique to them. They have a hard no on kids. No one should ever have kids in antinatalism. The hard yes on veganism. It's religiously neutral. It's a lens neutral position. It's open to suicide acceptance. Utter climate change will reduce human population, but is going to increase wildlife. So are we pro climate change or against it? If you're anti-natalist, you would probably, as I said, be about to say be against climate change, just because you're generally for human flourishing, but you are against the imposition of having children. So it's less about the numbers games, but more about the quality of life. So if an antinatalist, it's more about the imposition of life and consent of violations rather than number per people, and it's about like the quality of life of those individuals. So I mean, for antinatalists, it would definitely be against. I mean, for an antinatalist, you could be all over the board, I guess. You could be against. If you're a climate focused antinatalist, you're gonna be either against it, or if you're climate focused antinatalist because you're concerned with human endeavors, then you're gonna be like, ah, shit, the environment needs to be saved right now. But if you're like environment focused one because you care about ecosystems, then you'd be like, ah, shit, humans have been fucking ecosystems for a long time. We may as well just accelerate this process. And if you're an ethicalist, you are gonna be like, ah, shit, this is bad because animals will flourish eventually. So I'm personally against. Well, here's the thing. I am and am not against climate change. I don't think climate change is gonna end humanity, but if you could show that it would, then I'd be against it. I'm for climate change because the fact that increasing the temperature of the biosphere and increasing the acidity of the ocean basically makes the environments infertile, makes it so you can't like if reptiles lay their eggs, they won't be able to incubate properly, um, stuff of that nature. So basically, it prevents things from coming into existence due to lack of fertile living conditions. But if you could show to me that it would extinct humanity and that humanity wouldn't be able to put the final nail in the coffin someday, then I would be against climate change. But from the perspective of what um, I see climate change as an absolute win at the moment. It's just kind of making the world a more fucked place. That it makes it so people like don't want to come into existence. It makes the land less fertile for animals, and hopefully, if humans put the final nail in the coffin someday, it'll be Gucci. Amendment says it's just going to create warm environments where life will just flourish. Well, I think he's wrong, but yeah, I think he's wrong. It takes a long time for maybe it'll flourish in a long time in the future, but right now it's gonna collapse everything. So right now it's gonna cause mass die off and mass infertility because things are not adapted to suit the rapidly shifting environment. Cause of man-made accelerated processes. Really? Okay, what's his website's name again? I kind of want to watch this video. Is it Do Not God or?
All right, time for another Do Not God video presentation.
I forget what website his is. Fucking maybe it's just ephilism.com or something. This is it. Did you post a link? Because I can't see the link. 1 second. I want to go in here. Maybe I can see it in here. No, I can't see it in here. Yeah, if you posted a link, I can't see the link, unfortunately. I mean that's the website. Oh, okay. The Ephilism website or the Do Not God website? I assume you mean Do Not God. But okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, there we go. I think I found it. I assume this is it.
All right, time for another DoNotGuide.com video presentation. So, I have a subject in mind, something to do with life lovers versus something to do with sort of saying, well, let's say the starting point was you're going to sell something to somebody, and your starting line is, well, you're going to be killed. Okay, so yes,
That
you're going
kind
to
of
be
sounds like a
made
win.
alive, and then we're going to
Oh,
give
that
you some
doesn't
sort of
sound like a
life,
win.
but then we're going to kill you.
No,
Okay,
that doesn't sound
that's
good.
part of the bargain. So right off, you have to accept the fact that we're going to kill you, and it's not going to be quick. It's going to be, months of being killed.
Oh, that's
And
shitty.
that's,
No bueno.
you have to accept that. So that's sort of, it's to me sort of a persuasive argument that, yeah, you'd have to be offering an awful lot to be able to persuade somebody to just accept, right? And if your offer is, well, you might have a good life. I mean, you might win a gold medal and get all the chicks for free and all that kind of crap, and then we'll kill you. But no, you can't really sell that, right? You have to sell something like you're just going to be some average Joe or Jane, uh, and then we're going to kill you. I mean, why would you wake me up for that bargain? Because it's not a bargain, obviously. So that's sort of just a simple argument. And then the other subject was the nihilist kind of perspective where people play is-ought games, because that came up in a science video, which was kind of funny, in a physics conversation. And it's just,
This is actually going to be an
what's so
interesting one.
complicated
I
about
like
this
is
thing?
gap
I mean, the is thing is just saying, well,
conversations.
yeah, life isn't all, it isn't anything you could say is all free. Okay, it's kind of expensive to be alive, in terms of, you're paying a price, of something of value. I don't think it's conceivable to say you can't distinguish between the good and the bad of experience. And anybody who's saying they can't distinguish, yeah, you could legitimately call them insane or crazy or too fucktarded to worry about. So the is problem is just how much is there, right? It's not about
But still,
whether
there is
there
no gap.
is
I
something
agree,
of
there is no
value.
gap.
It's just about an argument about how much value torture is. How much is it worth? How much torture is it to have a nail in your eye, or to have whatever skin rash? And what's it worth? But you really, to have an argument that there's no such thing is too silly. So there's plenty of ises in terms of blank is bad or blank is good. It's good to be relieved of the rash. It's good, to have morphine to mitigate against the pain of death and all of that. So those are obvious kind of statements. So to say we can't see the value, or we can't detect it, we can, go out with our little magnifying glass and look at reality and somehow we can't see value. Yeah, we can. The fact that it's not it's not material, value isn't some material quality, beyond the fact that material things create it, in the sense that, obviously I would argue that the only thing of value in the universe is a sensation, and everything else is only valuable because it gives things good sensations or it gives things bad sensations. So you could just kind of say that, mosquitoes are bad because they cause humans bad sensations, and diseases and all the stuff that causes even more bad sensations. And something else is good because, it eats mosquitoes, right? That kind of thing. Um, so it's not that complicated, I guess I would argue, in terms of just making the simple argument that, come on, who are you trying to kid? We can't find a value in the universe. I mean, we can't use our brains to evaluate value, and we can't do it objectively. Like, we can't just understand that, yes, it's a brain, it has sensations. Bad sensations suck. I personally experienced them. I can tell you they suck. Okay, I have enough evidence to convict the bad feeling as a bad feeling, and it's just not negotiable. I mean, you can tell me my sensations are lying, but it's kind of silly because I'm experiencing them. So it's one hell of a lie. Um, no, so it's really not a real rational argument, is there? Are they worth the time? So the nihilists are a tiny percentage of the problem, compared to the religious kooks. So I guess I should, the life lovers. So it's probably not worth wasting too much time arguing about the reality of the existence of bad in the universe in terms of sentient organisms having bad experiences, bad sensations, um, unpleasant, nasty, torturous sensations. It's a brain function, and it has a definite arrangement. God doesn't make you feel bad, your brain does. It has an arrangement in it. Little neurons are in certain positions and they create a bad theater. Uh, you know, and that's, so yes, it's not material in any other sense than, of course, the theater is material. The mechanism creating the picture in your brain, okay, in the space of your brain, is in fact a material substance, and it is in fact creating, as a symptom of its function, the idea. And maybe it's just an idea, but again, it's one hell of an idea that I'm having a feeling. And it's just, that's the way it works. So it is material at its source. The fact that what it creates isn't made out of a direct image, it's made out of a digital arrangement of crap inside of a brain. So it's not projecting it on a screen, but it's in the projector. Doesn't need to project it on the screen because basically it has you inside the projector too. You're in the projector watching the projection of the machine, and all of it is in just a little tiny container. I mean, it's a theater, but it's not it's without all the extra bits you don't need. How else to explain that? I mean, it's not just electricity, in the sense that it's not because of the arrangement of it, because there's the pieces of it are creating. My eyes can see, and then your brain can just duplicate what the eyes are seeing without the eyes having to see it. You can close your eyes and your brain can create what you have seen in the past.
Oh, yeah, they
And
can.
it's
Pretty
there.
cool.
I mean, you get the idea of it um, without having to. It's almost you can see. It's almost you can see memories better when your eyes are open. As funny as that sounds. Anyway, yeah, it's always some little distracting. Oh, that's not quite the right way to say it. So it is a problem making videos that are unscripted. Is that well, it's even worse when you're scripting a video, right? Because then you have to see all the defects in language, and it takes forever for me. So that's why I don't do it, obviously. And it's not very. It's a skill to be able to read a script without sounding like you're reading a script.
Climate
And I don't
change
really have that skill.
gonna cause that eventually.
So never mind.
Not worth it.
So
I mean,
another
yeah,
part
if
is
it's gonna
distraction,
cause
but that's
that,
part of
I'd
how
say
the
it's
brain
not worth
works.
it.
It's
But I
just
don't think
constantly
that's the
reacting,
case.
and you have to measure whether the reaction is worth mentioning or not. Now, this reaction wasn't, it wasn't worth it. No big payoff. But other times, it's sometimes good to be interrupted by the interrupting part of the brain and realize that, yes, you're going down a wrong track, or you said that wrong and you really have to fix it now, and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I guess I can take a pause anytime. So I think I'll take one now since I'm distracted. All right, back. So lots of thoughts, but the one that stuck was the fact that you live your life, and it's my history that I saw a bunch of people, old people would do this Rockwellian thing, like somehow it all is great, that, oh, I'm getting older and the new things, and there's so much interest and so much blah, blah, blah. And, it's such a lie, right? From what I've personally experienced is that the older you get, the more things you've seen that you've cared about die horribly. I mean, just horrible. I mean, horrible. I mean, nursing home, horrible, choking death bullshit, right? um, and then your own life, you're watching things that you hoped for, dreamed for, and all those things that are now beyond your grasp. I mean, even if you could, you can't, because you don't have the physical ability anymore. You can't go out and hit a home run. You can't go out and play the game, and those games were all part of who you were. And it's like you're a rock climber, you're this or you're that, and all of a sudden you just can't do it anymore. Can't do it well enough to take any value or fun out of it. It's just watching yourself fail rather than watching yourself succeed. And so your life gets narrower and narrower because all you can trust yourself to do is pull weeds out of a garden. uh you know it's dismal. It's dismal getting old. Dismal, 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 horrible. um it's so depressing. And they don't want to sell the truth, so I guess they just sell this lie. I mean, they all stand up and say stoically how great it all is, and I'm handy able, handy capable. And it's just such an indignity to all of the hard pain and suffering that goes into that kind of the factual reality of disability and dysfunction, and degrade in function and degrade in the quality of your life. You sneeze and a bunch of poop comes out of your ass or something. I mean, it's embarrassing and humiliating and degrading. And so I mean, it's clear the culture just keeps lying. I mean, it keeps lying about what the facts are, and what it is to go through the process of having to watch everything you care about um, be destroyed, you know, by either the culture itself. It just says, no, we're going to do it this new way, this new ugly way, frankly, a way that just doesn't even make sense. It doesn't, that you can't even, you can't find any hope of figuring out why that happened. I mean, why this transition? I mean, just popped into my head, just, just as a, you know, it's one of those, just popped into my head. I mean, how the world changed from, the 70s or 80s, where shorts were shorts, they were short, and then they all of a sudden went to knickers again. I mean, below the knee, like, is now shorts, and baggy and frumpy and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was almost like, okay, maybe, Bruce Jenner on the cover of Wheaties was too much leg or something, and it just went to some bizarre transition. The whole, complete flip. And you're just saying, well, why couldn't it just, incrementally move a little bit? But anyway, but yeah, it's aesthetically weird. And cars or any other thing, you could just find all these different things where you say, gee, the world looked prettier. It made more sense. And this new image of it, this new graphic is, there's nothing that you can find aesthetically pleasing in it. So that's another kind of liability of getting older, is you get gapped. The society moves in a direction. And so you could argue that even that's probably part of the definition of a fuckable woman now, by average standards. She probably has an extra 50 pounds on her. It is a very different definition of healthy or, attractive, and sensual. All these things have been completely changed. And then the music, it's all over the place. I mean, I can't make any sense of how anybody could find a melody in any of the music you hear coming out of mostly FedEx trucks, right? Oh, they're so annoying. I mean, really, they're a half mile down the street and you can hear their freaking radios or whatever they're playing. I mean, it's just, I mean, this is where we have all of these, you have all this technology, right? It's just so you can, Wi-Fi earbud thing. You can do all this, you can keep your personal life very personal, and they choose not to, which is kind of bizarre. Well, I mean, it's kind of a statement saying "fuck you," and that's the part where you just gotta wonder. Well, you're saying "fuck you" to me, okay? You're yelling it out of your car, and what is my response supposed to be? But boy, I really do want to throw a brick in your face. I mean, it really is just so ironic that they think they're just so boldly obnoxious, and you're just like, what the fuck is that? I mean, the radio's really loud. I can hear it. I'm just like sitting here on my front porch, and you're just basically saying, I'm going to basically spit on you. I'm gonna, I'm gonna yell so loud that the spit is gonna fly on you, sort of, so to speak. And I'm not gonna care. It's almost like I'm gonna do it on purpose. I mean, these are the kind of things that just, they just kind of say, yeah, that's what they're really doing. They're really being obnoxious on purpose. It's not like an accident. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It's not like they didn't know somebody was behind them and they farted. No, they know you're there. So even human beings are
hard on you anyways.
I mean, I never had there were shitty people in the world when I was a kid, but they didn't do that kind of shit. I mean, they weren't. Everybody was sneaky about it. They didn't just fuck you so overtly. They could sell you as a slave. They could do lots of things. Your best friend could be a just be scheming and using you to network and do this and do that. So yeah, you could get used and abused by people, but it always was sneaky. It wasn't right in their face, just saying, fuck you. You're a bug. So that's the irony of this too, is these are people voting for more. They recklessly have kids, they recklessly do all this shit, and it's just they're, I mean, really, is there some other thing to call them but assholes? So I mean, yeah, but maybe I'm just gapped because I don't understand how blowing your nose on somebody else's shirt is, oh, that's perfectly cool. Yeah, that's what we do now. That's cool. That's saying I love you. Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't think so. But anyway, all right, take another break because yes, I'm distracted again. All right, back. So I did have occasion to watch one of the old movie versions of 1984. And I remember reading the book as a kid, and I do remember most of it I didn't find very interesting. All the double speak crap, double think, triple think, all that didn't seem like any kind of way to really control a society. Really seemed kind of a lame and convoluted bunch of mush, frankly. So the first 3/4 of the book wasn't very interesting. But the whole extort somebody with their worst fear thing, okay, the thing they fear most, and force them, okay, to experience it, the threat of it anyway. That one, that did, that made me interested. So I remember all the rat stuff and all that kind of stuff, and and then the real payoff was that you'll sell your own mother to hell to evade that worst fear. And so that's a picture of the human character. And you could argue that, yes, if you really had to, if these people, as I've stated, if the choice was your pro-lifeness, okay, you being a pro-lifer will now require you to actually inject children with cancer. You have to go to the hospital, to the playground, where they're having fun, and you have to, shove the tumor in there, and ruin their life and kill them, because it's all part of the fun of living. Yeah, I don't know if you would be able to do it, right? Wouldn't that be like anybody with any kind of even a moderately decent character? Could they actually sit there with the little tickets? The little, I have 5 long straws and I have 5 short straws, or let's just, even if it's 9-1, but we know it's more than 9-1. Because there's straws that are all kinds, right? There's 10 kids. Only one of them is going to have the fun, good life. And most of them are going to have some kind of mediocrity, and some of them are going to have absolute hell. If you had to do the straw game, you had to sit there and, okay, I'll put it in the kid's pocket. Here's your fucking shit, straw. You could do this? You fucking creep? So yeah, pro-lifers are creep. Maybe that's what I'll title the other video. Pro-lifers life lovers are creepy, because they're basically endorsing this, okay? And they're too cowardly to recognize that if they had to do it, they'd sell their fucking mother to hell, okay? I mean, they would all of this crap beauty that they think exists, okay, would all of a sudden be something they would sell to evade. It's just the truth, and they know it, and it's just bullshit. So they're just living on bullshit. So that part of 1984 where everybody's just a programmed robot saying what everybody else wants to hear, down with foreigners, up with foreigners. I mean, that's all the only 2 things you're allowed to say, right? I mean, you can't say something else. Either down with foreigners, or yay, foreigners are fun. Yeah, too silly. It's just too fucking silly to have those 2 choices. But that's where we are. I mean, that's we're on the brink of civil war. It's pretty much obvious, right? And it's going to be over foreigners. And who's going to fight in the war? Foreigners. I mean, it's going to be too silly. I mean, it's already
I don't
there.
know
I
about
mean, it's
that.
just, we have
I personally think we're too lazy
dead
to go to
people.
war about anything. Like, we're all on our phones, we're all enjoying computers, video games, sex, sports, whatever. We're too busy having fun to go to war over some anything, no matter how passionate it is at the moment. Like, it has to be
We have
something.
a
It has to be something pretty important, like veganism or like something like actually suffering focused ethics to like go to war over, like just jobs or something. I don't know. Maybe I could see. Maybe it's possible, but like I don't know. People are, but people are lazy.
choice between a nearly dead and a completely almost dead. They're, they're not even. And it goes back to the aging thing. These people can't hit no home runs. Okay, I mean they're way past playing the game. You know, with any kind of chance of winning. They can barely stand up and stay upright long enough to even read the piece of paper that they didn't write. I mean, it's just too. This is the greatest superpower in the world, and this is what's running it. Is just it's not even Big Brother. It's not even the video of strong and virile and tough. It's the image of weak and feebly and doddery and useless. I mean, it's so upside down. You're just saying, how could this TV be so upside down and nobody's noticing? I mean, the whole thing is back assward. I mean, you're doing it the wrong way. I mean, you're pooing in the sink and washing your hands in the toilet. I mean, you're doing this wrong. So obvious. Anyway, I'm obviously distracted again. Right. So I was thinking about the words difficult and futile. What's this? Because that's the line I've always lived in, is this stupid line right between difficult, really tough, and futile. Um, lost cause. The whole life has been this lost cause, this barely hopeful chance of success. Um, you know, and that's part of life. I mean, all people I think have some competitiveness in them, and they all want to excel at something. And you don't like being second or third or 968,974th. You kind of want to be the best. And so that part was pretty natural, I suppose, in growing up and just finding myself inadequate and struggling to find where I could excel and be more than adequate. And then this, obviously, slowly but surely, I realized the fight needs to be broadly constructed because it's not just about me, it's about the future, and it's about the fact that realizing that uh, there was a moment in my life where I did the look out the window and see the slaves and realize, oh, next time around I may be one of them. I better do something about this. I better make their lives better, because just in case I end up one of those people, I got to make sure their life isn't going to be shit. Um, because when I do it, I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it a better way. I want the better version of the story. Um, and then you realize, yeah, your life is bigger than your life. It's you got to try to construct a project for you to do that doesn't just benefit you, doesn't make you feel better about yourself, but it also makes the world a better place, or makes it work better, or more efficient, and all that stuff. So I did sort of get into the business of making machines, um, because that was sort of a dual purpose. You're thinking that, yeah, I'm making these machines that do this more efficiently and more productively and all this kind of stuff, and in the end that has to be a good thing, okay, um, if done right and all that kind of crap, of course. And so But this project is lots of people say, okay, it's futile. Well, no, it's not futile, because the one obvious fact is that the war has been won, in the sense that anybody who's not a robot, an idiot, let's just say, we're all robots, but I just mean a robot to culture, and they haven't done any. They've done the very very minimum. I mean, they might be literate, but that's about it. They know what some words mean, and they know how to use them to say hello and goodbye, but they can't do much else. And that's the majority of the mob. Is people of people with lesser rather than more elaborate skills. You could argue, um, are limited capacity, because they were raised in a shithole, and that's just the truth. And the shithole, okay, didn't have Harvard in it. It didn't have, it didn't have all these places where all of this knowledge of books and learning and perspective would have been gleaned. So they didn't spend much time doing any of that book learning crap. And all they did was learn how to eat garbage, and, do so with minimal efficiency. Uh, so, like in Big Brother, it's just you have this mob of humans that are all, of limited experience. And then you have the few who have, you know, found the secret knowledge, found an old book or found something that's now got their brain interested in a bigger story than, walk down the street, mumble your sacred words, and live in a Muslim society, essentially. you know um fake it, just live a fake life, a big fake phony life, and then try to find little places you can go where you don't have to be a Muslim anymore. um uh it's another side story, frankly. So anyway, so futility, right back to futility again. So even if it was futile, let's just argue that you could make some argument that it's futile to have a conversation, because frankly the conversation isn't going to be able to, you're not going to be able to put in an hour video all of the books ever written, and all of the perspectives ever um, articulated by a human being, all of the interesting fables and narratives and stories, reflecting the human dilemma, and the question of our origin, and the question of our mechanical function, the science, all that. Yeah, people don't got it, and you can't give it to them like that. Can't give them all that perspective, all that context. And frankly, without the context, it's mushy. You know, very hard to tell somebody who believes in, you know, gods and clouds and whatever, heavens, and I don't know, whatever they believe, spirit worlds or something, and drag them to this mechanical process of abiogenesis, and chromosomes and cell division, and the gaining of organs and attributes and capacities, and realizing that the human function is completely dependent on crap in, and then it just makes crap out, and that the whole system is the food is the shit. You know, it's all circular, and it's all just animated motion, and that our motion is completely controlled by this much more complicated process. We're not just drop a rock on a teeter totter and shoot another rock in the air. Where we have a whole bunch of those things all piled on top of each other, pushing and pushing and pushing, and creating a person. And that's all it is, though. It's just a machine, okay? Just a little biological machine, and you're squeaking and eking through an existence. And the understanding is that you've been constructed to do one thing, which is, um, you know, get healthy enough to fart an egg and force another version of yourself to do the same thing over again, and do it better than the others doing it better enough that you're not the one getting the short straw that says drop dead. Um, so that narrative can't really be explained, okay, just by saying it. I mean, I could just say it, and maybe there's a few imbeciles that say, "Oh yeah, I get that. That's yeah. You didn't need to say much more than that. I get it. I'm stupid. Okay, I am ill-informed. I really haven't any great knowledge of the world or how it works or how it did work or what the mechanical natural systems work. You know, I'm clueless." So this just, I could interject at another point though, but the alternative is that some things can be simply explained. So if I was to say, people talk about this global warming thing, and they all talk about it as if the system is too hard to understand, and in a way, it's really easy to understand. If you just break it down into what was the world like 200 million years ago, and what's the world like now. And the simple truth is that it was wetter and hotter, and the wet part is the really important part. Water molecules in the atmosphere are the things that hold heat, and they're the things that do it really well. And so you start collecting more and more heat because of your got a bunch of hot water molecules in the atmosphere. And the more of those you have, the more energy you keep in the atmosphere. And so it gets hotter. So the more you add, the hotter it gets. And then the hotter it gets, the more ends up in there. And you could just make the simple argument that a key mitigator is this black stuff, this carbon. And that what the world looked like 200 million years ago was, well, or 300, it didn't have coal and oil and natural gas in the ground. So all those things that have a whole bunch of this black carbon stuff that's not very greenhousey. I mean, it doesn't do a lot, but it just does enough. Okay, it creates enough of a mitigator to make it more humid, to make more water in the atmosphere. And that's all that's the key one. So I'm just saying, but you can sort of understand that that's a huge difference, right? I can explain that, look, the big difference between when the world was hot, that is 10 degrees Celsius hotter on average, when it was that because there was no methane in the ground. There was no, there weren't layers and layers and layers of coal, and there weren't gallons and gallons and of oil, and all of that stuff was sunk carbon. And once you put the carbon back on the surface, it gets into the atmosphere, and you're going to get hot again. So the only reason why the world got cold was because a bunch of carbon was sunk into the ground. And clearly, nobody else did it but us. I mean, trees didn't do it. Nothing else did it. We did it. We released all that carbon. Something like almost half the oil, well, the usable oil. So it was a lot. I mean, just think about how much of that stuff is being used every day. I mean, how much has to be pumped out? I mean, it's this huge volume of this stuff that we are pulling out of the ground every single hour, every day, blah, blah, blah. And to sit there and pretend that doesn't have something to do with it. So, I mean, that should be a simple enough argument, right? You shouldn't have to get too detailed. In a half hour, you should be able to convince any imbecile on earth that, okay, I get that. That sort of makes a lot of sense. I don't need to have a huge amount of technical knowledge to say, okay, that is a difference. All right. Maybe it's not the cause, but I mean, it's, it'd be a bizarre coincidence that being the facts, those being actual facts, that there wasn't carbon automatic, the carbon wasn't always in underneath the surface. The oil wasn't always there. And when it wasn't there, the Earth was a different planet than it is with the stuff in the ground. So that simple fact is not that hard. So again, I'm saying, it shouldn't be that difficult to explain to an imbecile that life ain't all that. But the first obstacle for a lot of these conversations is why the channel's called Do Not God. Because God is just in the fucking way of anybody being something other than an imbecile. I mean, that stupid fable, these stupid faith fables, wishful thinking, I mean, it's just so silly a wishful thought. Even it doesn't even make any sense, and it's so strongly held on to. Um, and it's so on its face, it's just silly. I mean, why would I want to go to some place where they waste a bunch of rubies and emeralds, decorating the clouds? I mean, that's the kind of stories in there, the kind of bullshit. I'm going to go there without the woman I raped. And then because I raped her, I had to marry her. And then it was okay. It wasn't rape anymore. And I don't even go there with my rape wife. What the fuck's the point? I go there and I forget who I am. Oh, great. I forget all the events that made me who I am. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I'm going to go somewhere, but I'm not going to be there when I get there. I mean, it's so stupid on so many fucking levels. I guess, if you go to hell, do you still remember your dead wife? Do you still remember your cat? Do you still remember
Mark,
all those
will I
sad
remember
things?
you, bro?
I guess so,
When
because
I'm
it's
in
hell.
hell?
But if you go to heaven, all of a sudden, that's no harm, no foul. That never happened. Horror and tragedy and grief. Oh no.
All sadness goes away.
It's too silly. And you're just saying, well, that seems futile. I mean, people who can fall for a story as stupid as all the stupid religions are stupid, silly stories. I mean, they're so preposterously stupid. I mean, it's an Avatar movie. I mean, it's just too stupid. Floating mountains. It has some kind of crap in it. You just say, fuck you. This is too silly. Yeah. So, so yeah, that does seem futile. But there's no other game, so it doesn't matter. So that's what I wanted to get to, was the point. I don't care whether you have defined it as futile, because frankly, it's the only game to play. There's nothing else worth doing than fighting the root cause, than curing the disease. If you're not going to cure the disease, everything else just seems like, oh, fuck, I'm going to make Band-Aids. I'm going to make splints for broken limbs. I'm going to, okay, yes, it'll make it a little bit better, but it's so short of prevention. It's so short of, getting rid of it, stopping it. No more torture is so much better than, here's a double aspirin. Yeah, double aspirin just isn't good enough. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not settling for that. No. I'm going to try to do better. You can say I can't do it, but I'm going to try, because it's reasonable to go for a win than just some marginally superior failure.
Exactly.
Well, just to
Transhumanist.
complete a story that I didn't tell completely, I was just thinking about the water, the environment thing, the oil thing. And the key to water in the atmosphere is there's no other way to get water into the atmosphere except to heat the atmosphere. You can't just inject it, because it won't stay. It won't stay there unless it stays warm. So it's heat. You need heat to create humidity. Without the heat, there is no humidity. The colder it gets, the drier the air gets, because you can't hold it in the atmosphere. You can't knock it off the surface. You can't keep it in the atmosphere unless the atmosphere is hot. And so that's the key ingredient, right? That's why it falls down, is because, it goes up and it gets cold, and the cold makes the water turn back into water, and it falls back down on the earth. Okay. That's the way it works. And it doesn't fall down as being warm stuff. It falls down as cold stuff, sometimes frozen stuff. So, it's, so that's why you need some other thing to create a little bit of heat in the atmosphere. So a little extra heat in the atmosphere to create the extra water molecules. And now the extra molecules are what really do the greenhouse thing. They're the ones that do the more goes in than comes out kind of crap. And just leading to a cycle that can get out of
We're gonna take a
control.
tiny little bit of a
And that's what we're
pause.
creating, is a cycle that'll get us back out of control. And the trick is that it's not going to just, you know,
Yeah, a little bit of a pause here. We're gonna watch more amendment videos after this, and we're gonna continue watching this one. I see his point. At transhuman role. You know that essentially in the past, during like dinosaur times, things flourished quite a lot. You know, there was a big old dragon of flues and stuff like that fluttering around. And the reason we could do that and have those giant bugs and stuff and everything thriving is because the atmosphere had a lot of, you know, moisture in the air, and that requires heat. So climate change basically is allowing for older climates to be revitalized. But that also means there has to be a massive die off of current living species. So, I don't know, call me a positive, hope loving mofo, but I would hope that we will take care of sentience, the plague of sentience, before evolution adapts to this rapidly changing environment. I would hope so. But that's just what I'm going to pontificate on for a little bit as I go and smoke a smoke. Yeah, yeah. I'll be right back. We'll watch more Do Not God in a little bit.
Yo, yo. I don't know who Shane is, might be, but thank you for doing so. I appreciate the shit. Always good to get us out there in the world, even though I don't know who Shane is. He's a famous YouTube star? Awesome. That's pretty cool. I appreciate it, Dave. What am I doing? I'm just smoking some Delta 8, basically. Not much else. Watching an amendment video, but taking a little break from that. Basically, one of my viewers is talking about, as you can see right here, if climate change is going to cause so that eventually there's more animal births, probably not worth it. Like, basically, slowing down human population will cause animal populations to start to thrive again. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Probably a bad thing. I personally think that, it's not going to be an issue. Climate change is a farce. Oh, what do you mean by that? I mean, do you not believe in climate change? And if so, it liberal? I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of hard to deny climate change, my dude. It's kind of remember winters being quite different as a kid, but propaganda, I don't think it's propaganda, my friend. I think climate change is real, but it's kind of irrelevant to the situation of ethics in regards to having kids and stuff. No, it's all fake. I mean, do you have proof that it's all fake, or you just, you know? Because the ice caps, they do be melting, though. Climate do be changing. Hey, I got a date for Friday this week, and I got a date for next Monday with a different girl. The Rizzler is at it again, my boys. Trump says so. You know what? You actually convinced me of that. I actually kind of agree. The Trump card is always the way. No, I don't want you going on dates. This is Dave. I gotcha. One on Friday is with a trans girl, and the one on Monday is with just some random girl that I'm gonna potentially have a hookup with. And so from that fun. Yeah, you know. Yeah, one's like an actual date, the other's more just smoke session, potentially talk. So it is what it is. It's less of a date and more of, they're antisocial dating multiple people. And I keep on explaining this to people. Antisocial does not mean not wanting to socialize. That's asocial, okay? So there's pro-sociality, which means pro-society, being pro wanting to socialize and be around people and help society. Then there's antisocial, which is being counter society, counterproductive, counter nice to people, being an asshole basically, a disruptive cunt. And then there's asocial, which is being socially neutral, not wanting to socialize, wanting to be alone, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not really asocial. I used to be asocial, but I'm more antisocial. I'm more like counter culture, counter helping people. I'm a dickhead. There we go. Sent the Snapchat out. So you want to get married and have kids? No, why would I want to get married and have kids? I don't want to get married, and I especially don't want to have kids. So just because I'm counter society and counter productivity and counter like helping people doesn't mean I want to get married and have kids just because it's a bad thing to still want to do. You know, I basically am. Plus, that's like counterculture to be against those things anyway, so that makes sense to be against having kids. From a evolutionary point of view. Yeah. I am more antisocial than anything else. I'm counter society. Will you tell your date this? Not right away. They can figure it out. I mean, here's the thing. I share like a lot of my political and social views and like F-list videos of like Gary and Amendment and stuff like that on my social media stuff. So if they actually care to know my beliefs, so they can look themselves essentially. If they want to keep their romantic delusion up, then that's up to them to do. So it's right in front of them to look themselves, but I'm not gonna fucking ruin my chances too late, you know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, in the past I would have simply been like, I'm a psychopath. But now I'm just kinda like, yo, hi, the name's Grant, you know. I like to help people. I'm a philosophy major. Ha ha ha. Dropped out of college, but that's because I'm an Uber driver now. Now, like, life, be relatable, lol. So, like, you know, now I'm just trying to jive with people. I'm not trying to be very unique, you know. I'm not going to stand out. I stand out enough by just talking about my ethics, you know. It's just like being like, hey, you should probably be a vegan. And they're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, hey, it's not even the weirdest thing I believe. I also believe in fantasize now. Well, what the fuck? And I'm like, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. I also think we should end all life. What the fuck? So I'm not going to get into me being a psychopath and homicidal ideation and all that jazz. It's just too much for anybody to handle, especially on a first or second date. So we can get into that if a long-term relationship ever comes about, then I would get into that with my partner. But, you know, until that occurs, it's just not worth it. The answers and snaps. So, answering some snaps. Not sure if you guys can see me when I answer the snaps, or if it kind of like cuts out and freezes the screen when I do so. I don't know, but either way, I was just answering some snaps. Dave, you've gone silent, my dude. That's okay. I mean, if you were on a date, would you tell your date, like, yeah, man, I just don't feel empathy for people? There could be, like, a kid getting, like, kicked to death right in front of me, and I'd just shrug my shoulders. I'd just be like, morally speaking, this is bad, but that guy's pretty big. Don't kind of want to get involved, you know, ripperoni, kiddo, you know? I was battling you some likes. Oh, hell yeah. That makes sense. Some of my viewers, the view count increased. So, but yeah, we're just, oh yeah, my transhuman raw. I'm outside right now, just big vibing, smoking a little bit. I'm on break, basically. I'm on break from watching Amendum. talk about climate change. We go on dates for the purpose of marriage and family seeking. Are you Christian or something, Dave? Nah, bruh. No, you go on dates to seek romantic affiliation with a potential life partner or just to get laid. One of the two. Marriage is also, an option for the life partner pathway. But when it comes down to it, like, marriage is just a legal bond. It's like saying, I'm scared you're going to leave me, so the law is putting us together forever, and now there's tax benefits. I don't know. Like, to me, that just seems like a disingenuous relationship. I prefer just my bond to be based off of, like, mutual affection, not, like, paperwork. But to each their own, to each their own. This is why I don't date, says Mahana trying to. Hey, man, dates kind of suck, but they can be cool. The last date I went on, all I did is pay for the gas, okay? I drove like an hour, kind of sucked, whatever. But she wanted to go to Starbucks, and so I was like, yeah, sure, okay. But because she brought up going to Starbucks, she was like, I'll pay for it. And I was like, you sure? And she's like, yeah, hundy. So she paid for my hot chocolate, and we had a nice little Starbucks date, and then we went for a walk in a park. So it was wholesome 100, and it costed me nothing. So dates can be affordable and fun. Where's this date happening? The one on Friday is going to be at a movie theater. We're going to watch Saw. Her idea, not mine. She paid for you because she was in love. Fair enough. I am pretty attractive. So, I mean, we had some fun. So, I mean, she said she doesn't do that for everybody. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she was in love with me. I'm a pretty stand up guy. Go see Barty? No, she wants to see Saw. She's seen all the Saw movies and she's a fan of Saw. So she wants to go see Saw. I've seen 1, 2, and 3. They're okay. My mind personally is more brutal than a Saw movie. I'm just not a fan of some of the syringes and gross stuff like that. So, but when it comes down to it, she wants to see Saw. We'll go see Saw. So, but yeah, we're gonna go watch Saw, and then the one on Monday, I imagine, is just gonna be a little smoke session at the person's house, and then it's gonna be a little fun time. Yeah, yeah. Who knows? Do you often get McDonald's? No, I don't get McDonald's. When I was back in the day, I used to get McChickens from McDonald's all the time, but now that I'm vegan, there's no really point to go to McDonald's. There's not really anything to get there. So, what's your favorite flavor of vape? I like peach lemonade. This rainbow snow cone's pretty good. So, So if the date wants a burger, will you shame her? A little bit, not really. I mean, that's the thing. The girl that I'm going to have a date on with on Friday, I don't think she's vegetarian or vegan. She was vegetarian, I think, at one point, which almost is worse because if you go vegan or vegetarian, especially vegetarian, because they're just like image, they're just like showboating. You go that and then you back out of it, it just shows that like your principles are like astoundingly weak to me, and that like you just did it for show essentially, and you or just to try it out or whatever, and then you just gave up. So I already kind of have like a little bit of like a moral beef with my date. I'm already kind of like, So will I shame her? No. Will I have gripes with her? Yes. Uh, will I basically? She already knows I'm vegan, so it's like if she's open to just eating flesh around me, then that she didn't hunt herself, then you know it's kind of just gonna be like you don't respect my beliefs. My respect for you is gonna diminish quite fast. And I believe that love is obsession mixed with respect. And her attractiveness is okay. She's not super attractive. She's kind of attractive. She's not really my type, but she's okay. So when it comes down to it, if she turns out to be romantically not something I'm attracted to as well, then it's basically just going to collapse really fast into me being not attracted mutually. So, but it is what it is. That's life. Hence why I'm on another date on Monday. Life is about taking chances and not sticking to your gun. Stick to your guns. You need to stick to your guns, but be swift. You ready to change directions. Yeah. If it ain't working out, just be like, whoop, goodbye. I'll be offended if I was on a date with someone who had another date planned with another. Well, here's the thing. I'm not gonna tell my dates that I have another date planned. Obviously, that's just that would be rude and mean. I mean, I clearly just go on the date, fuck them, and then just pretend that I'm not going on a date with a girl that I'm hooking up with on Monday, and then bing bang boom. I'll just be barbarically rude to be like, yo, how'd the date go? Oh, excellent. Yeah, I can't wait for the next date on Monday with this other girl. And that be, that's just fucking a dickhead move. But understandable. Like, I could do that. I just don't think it would work out very well for either our emotions. I wouldn't get laid, and I would probably get slapped. And she would feel like used. And, to be fair, but I'm a hedonist. I'm a psychological hedonist, so I believe everybody's using everybody at all times. No one's ever not using somebody for their own means, even if it's benevolent to some extent. You are using another person for your own means to end. So, I'm just more open about the fact that I'm aware of this concept. So it's just how it be. I'm aware. crazy universe. You know the truth. Of course, from some people, all the right space people in the chat, like Noodles and stuff, are just looking at me right now, just like, Brant, from a philosophical perspective, aren't you technically it is 9:38 a.m. where I am. But they're like, when isn't it from a rights-based perspective technically a violation of someone's philosophical consent if they were, like, you know, not wanting to have sex with you if you were going to have sex with someone else the same day or a couple days after them? But you neglect to inform them of this information voluntarily? Well, perhaps. But as for the thing is about consent, it's just an instrumental tool. So, in an illegal sense, I'm not doing anything wrong. So, in a utilitarian sense, if a tree falls in a forest, no one's around to hear it. Does it make a sound? No, it doesn't. It takes an ear to perceive. It takes an organ to perceive. So, if I cheat and no one finds out about it, does it really happen? No. So you have a lack of moral compass? Well, that's what I've been saying, Dave. I'm a fucking psychopath, Dave. I've been a psychopath my whole life. I have a completely cognitive awareness of how it hurts other people and what I should do. I just don't have the ability to care about how it affects other people. So when it comes down to it, that makes it very, very easy for me to do assessments of morality, unbiased, because I'm like, this is how it would hurt this person if it goes bad. This is how it would not hurt them if it goes good. So, from a utilitarian perspective, it's just an assessment of risk on if this would ever go good or bad. Of course, I'm announcing this to the internet, which is, of course, potentially increasing the likelihood of this going bad. But at the same time, neither of them are subscribed to my YouTube channel. So, and I live stream all the time. So the chance that the video is going to specifically get back to them, especially given this is being discussed 2 hours and like 35 to 40 minutes into the video, is unlikely. So the way my assessment of utility looks like, it's just like, for entertainment purposes, I say, no problemo. I'm just going to talk about this. So this is, yeah. This person just ate something called Ramp Snacks. Your channel name is hard to find? Exactly. So the way I look at it is I can announce my ability to cheat on people as much as I want on this channel, and I would have no problem. I mean, my IRL friends are also, some of them are subscribed to my channel, so they probably like totally be watching this and be like, damn, that's also kind of dickheadish brand. But at the same time, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know the truth, and so do any other guy. I don't want to tell you how I feel. I think you need God. No, bro, you don't understand. God killed himself. But when it comes down to it, even if God didn't kill himself, like, God put pussy on this earth to be fucked, bro. So I'm just taking consenting women and fucking them. So when I look at it, this is a win-win. God approves. But yeah, when it comes down to it, everybody thinks I'm not a psychopath. I am a psychopath. So I just ask Noodles. He will testify that I'm a psychopath. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Turn around. Dave, Dave, Dave. I'm sorry to tell you this, but a woman's already changed me in the past. I used to be far more cruel than I am now. Like, if you think I'm a cruel bastard now, ha 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 ha. There was a time when a woman justly so did not trust me as a human being, because I'm me, and was like, I don't want you talking to her on my friends because you're a psychopath. You're probably gonna ruin her life. I never did, but it's totally realistic that I could have. But I got revenge. I got revenge for that mistrust and hatred for me for, you know, just kind of taking stereotyping, running with it, I guess, and assuming that I'm gonna be hurtful to my own friends. So I took revenge. Of course, when this my friend who's borderline abandoned her, as borderline people do, eventually they came back, but for a momentary time when they abandoned, they came to me like, "Hey, Brand, my friend's no longer talking to me and no longer talking to you. You're one of my only mutual acquaintances. We should talk and vibe." So the Rizzler here, me, basically made this girl slowly fall in love with me over the course of months. Bought her, found out deep family stuff, like mental issues, so on, deep empathy stuff. And yeah, even bought her like chocolate covered strawberries for like Christmas and sent to her door across the country and a bunch of really wholesome 100 things, things that most guys would never do, like unless they like had deep feelings for them. I really went out on my way to sell it. And then one day I just got bored of it. I just got bored. I was tired of it. And I just literally said that. I just announced. I was like, "Hey, I'm not gonna do I'm not gonna do what Shamira did to you and just abandon you out of nowhere. But I'll tell you why. I'm bored." And then I just blocked her on all social media, crushed her little soul. Don't worry, she's okay. She found love with a different dude. She's fine. She recovered. But I kind of shattered her trust in men for a period of time, I imagine. So, yeah, at one point, I was a really horrible motherfucker. So if you guys think that, yeah, so Dave, women have changed me. Shamira has changed me. I'm a far better person than I was in the past. In the past, I was a kind of an evil prick. I didn't give a damn about people's emotions, and I was willing to hurt people just for my own entertainment. I would play the long game. I was very Machiavellian about it too. I would hurt people, and I would hurt them hard. So, yeah, it's just when it comes down to it, I was a prick back in the day. Nowadays, I try to limit my amount of suffering that I cause people. So if you think I'm an asshole nowadays, no, I'm not an asshole. I mean, I am an asshole, but like comparatively speaking to what I could be, I'm a nice guy. So it's kind of just like, yeah, I mean,
is just how it be. Story time over. But when it comes down to it, yeah, girls have changed. A woman's already changed me. I've become a far better person than I once was, and I don't think it's gonna happen again. You know, it don't happen twice. You don't fall in love with someone that can change you for the better twice. It's just not how it goes. Life ain't a romance story. It's not a it's not a rom-com, but it is a comedy. You know, there's a lot of punchlines, but you know, I'm not laughing too much. So when it comes down to it, yeah, I fell in love with a person, and they changed me from a real prick to a person who actually has empathy for people and wanted to find out the meaning of life and find out how to better myself and find out what's the truth of morality and ethics, find out what's good and bad, how to better myself, be the best person I can be. And that person's dead now. That person took their own life. They're gone. So I don't think I'm ever gonna find someone like that again. But hey, high hopes for kill me, please. I just want that. Yikes, indeed. Some more of the story is love changes you, but you don't fall in love twice, especially when the person that you love kind of kills himself. So, you know, rip. Hard to recover from that one. You pay attention when he's talking about climate change? Yeah, the fact he's basically saying back in like the old dinosaur times, back in the old dinosaur times, essentially the climate was very moist, very much like whiskey. No, okay, it's very moist, a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. You know, very wet and damp, and because of that, life flourished. But that requires heat. You know, once things are cold, coldness means water comes down to earth and settles. You know, it doesn't stick around in the air floating around. It requires heat for the air for the water particles to rise and be in the atmosphere and everything be all hot. So, given climate change, things are heating up, which means moisture is going to get into the atmosphere, which means life will eventually thrive. I agree with that. That makes sense. But here's the thing, it'll take thousands, millions of years for life to adapt to this rapidly changing climate. So there's going to be a lot of die off, especially in the ocean, because of like acidity changes, before life begins to adapt to this and like starts to thrive. So hopefully humans are going to get our shit together as ethalists and, you know, prevent the reemergence and adaptation of life. That's my hope. But, you know, so basically I think it can be a good thing because it's going to be like a curve, you know, mass death, and then, well, I mean, death will never go down. It's just keep going up as life flourishes. But I guess massive death and then flourishing, and then, you know, a cycle continues or whatever. But when it comes down to, I think we can work with this. We can wait for this massive death and then just
So will there be more death than birth? Possibly. Very likely. If humans aren't around to prevent it, then the climate's a very, as Menem says, primed for life. Then yeah, I mean, it would, assumingly so. So I assume yeah, it'd be then quite a bit of birth and future generations. But humans are very resilient given our technology. So I think we can probably, if we really want to, annihilate all life on Earth, basically, and then exit ourselves. Stick around as much as we want until then. So we're resilient. We can stick around if we want, and then annihilate all life. I believe in us. Call me positive, but I believe in us. No, I don't think we should fight climate change, really. I used to. If you would have talked to me a year ago, I would have said, yeah, we should fight climate change. But now I'm kind of like, meh. It's kind of a waste of time. Um, 1 second.
Well, testing 1 2. Why were you for it back then? Well, I basically just was pro. I wasn't F-less back in the day. And it was more just about preventing suffering. So it's just kind of like, well, I'm sure it's not very pleasant for things in the environment to die off via climate change. So I was like, I'd rather humans just kill them off in a more pleasant means rather than climate change. But I don't really have too much high hopes for humanity. I have just enough high hopes for us to eventually do things. But for the most part, I think whatever we can take for preventing things coming into existence, we should. And as I said before, like climate change makes it so environments are uninhabitable. You can't like lay eggs or like have coral reefs properly and stuff if the environment's pH is off and shit. So now I'm more pro environmental destruction than I was in the past. In the past, I was more like we should just try to take care of it all in one swoop without having, it's basically back in the day. I was more red button ethyllist. Now I'm more by any means. So
it's like anything you hit, it pushes all the pendulum swing thing. You have the pendulum swing thing. You're saying you want the pendulum to stay here. Well, it's not going to stay here because as you push it, it's going to gain momentum and it's going to get way too hot before it comes back down again, swings the other way. So it's as if you really are risking, a real catastrophe because you're not going to be able to increase the temperature the way the temperature was made cooler. The earth was made cooler really slowly. Okay. The carbon was sunk little pieces at a time over hundreds of millions of years. Hundreds of millions of years of just stealing a little bit of carbon. But what are we doing? We're increasing the carbon really, really fast. Okay. And so everything's going to happen really, really fast. The warmth is going to break it's going to free the methane, all kinds of other stuff is going to happen. And yeah, that stuff might only last 10 years, but it won't matter for those 10 years. It's going to get, the environment's going to be way out of whack. So but it's a story that should be able to be told without a person having to know every book ever written on atmospheric phenomenon. It's just not that complicated. Well, it's often not presented as simple as, what changed over the last 300 million years. And what changed was there's a bunch of dead organisms, a bunch of corpses in the ground. And because they're in the ground, they're not cycling through the atmosphere anymore. And that's so I'm just saying the logic is that if, let's say, we never pulled any oil out, never pulled any coal out, and never pulled any of this stuff out, it would just keep putting more and more carbon deeper and deeper, and it'd be less and less and less of it available to be in the atmosphere. That's just the truth. All right. To some point, we would not function anymore because there wouldn't be enough available carbon. You could argue that eventually we'd sequester all the carbon and everything on Earth would almost come to a standstill, all the biological functions, because carbon is a catalyst for so many things. So many pieces of our functionality are dependent on it being exchanged. All right, pause. All right, just thinking about the method of communicating ideas and just how this doesn't really work. Okay, this human to human thing, it doesn't work for me. So I guess there's too many aspects of my personality that people start squinting or something. They don't like me. Something is bothersome. Clearly, okay. I've been on this medium for 20 years or whatever, and I really, the audience doesn't grow because I'm not a fun enough cartoon to watch, and that's pretty much what I would consider the definition. Because most people just want to watch cartoons, or they want to watch somebody say what they want to hear, which is, "Hi, YouTubers, are you doing swell today? I'm doing swell. Is everything swell? Yeah, everything's swell. Swell.
My parents just kind of bought me that. I don't think I chose.
Something like that, anyway. So yeah, so I probably should just make cartoons. I should just come up with, whatever. I actually started on the internet by just having a can of Ensure talking to something else. I can't, like a donut or something. I can't remember what it was, but I just put little faces on them and made them talk to each other. Just because, forget having a person actually honestly express their thoughts and ideas and explain their history and their reasoning. That just doesn't turn anybody on. But yes, a talking can of whatever. Yes, that they can follow along. Gumby or something, So, that's the trick of it, is that I guess you have to turn it into like a little cartoon, because that's pretty much the mentality of the average human, is they're still a kid watching cartoons. you just, you have to have a talking rabbit. You have to have some kind of bullshit that somehow triggers brain function. Maybe I just need the laughing baby, right? The Teletubby thing, it worked, right? They just put a laughing baby in the corner of the screen. I could just have a little laughing baby, and then maybe the videos will be watchable. I mean, it is, but yeah, see, that's one of those things where my sense of personal dignity gets in the way. It's like, I'll go so far, but I won't do that. Oh, come on. Don't force me to do that. And so I'm selling my mother to hell because, that's just too humiliating. You have to really go that low. I can't do it. I can't do it. Too embarrassing. Anyway, but yeah, it's got to be something like that, right? Oh, and that's the part that's just, yuck.
Oh wow, that's kind of cool.
So with this presentation thing, how you present the argument is essentially more valuable than the argument. It's 99% of the argument is the presentation of the argument. How you say it. What part comes before what part. How you write this little silly paragraph. And yes, that's. I just don't have great skill at doing that. So that's not really good for me. Yeah. So I'm thinking about the F-list videos, the Gray Chai Cho guy who, took the little pieces and music and, made really nice, shorter, more artistic presentation of the argument. Let's call it that. Where I'm not in the video so most of the time. Yeah, so it takes me out. It just puts the argument in with images. But anyway, but yeah, that didn't completely win the argument either. So I don't know, but anyway, it is something I have to consider, is that I have collected a bunch of arguments, and the point is to put them in some form that is the right cartoon character, right? So, it's almost like writing a song, I guess. There's lots of songs that are almost a good song. I mean, change the lyrics, change the melody, change this, change that, and it's a song. It's so close, but yeah, it just misses. And there's such a subtle difference between just missing and, home run. It's either you strike out or you hit a home run. And so far, yeah, I'm striking out, but, maybe I'm striking out because I'm swinging a bat that can't possibly ever, hit the ball because, it's that just too short. So I have to play on the field. I have to play the game, that the morons are playing. I have to, be on their field and play by their rules to some extent. And so far, I haven't been compelled. I haven't thought it appropriate. I haven't concluded this is what has to be done. I haven't whatever to get to that point, where I'm going to devote time to strategy rather than time to making sure the argument is substantial and credible. Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, just this, I'm very much distracted today. So this video is taking longer than most.